How are you all doing? It has been a long time. As everybody knows, the world is in utter chaos and we're all stuck indoors and not being allowed outside to go and fly. Hopefully in your respective countries and your respective lockdowns, things are allowing you to get some flying time in. Over here, it's very restrictive. We're not really allowed out for any reason except exercise, going shopping and anything work related. So sadly, none of those include flying. But there we go. All this extra time indoors has meant that I've been able to work on something that should be pretty exciting for everyone that's into FPV. You probably know what it is based on the title of the video that you clicked, but if not, basically I have made an FPV simulator. But there's a bit more to it than that, and I would like to elaborate if you'll let me. So my day job is as a game developer. I work at a company called Bossa Studios here in London in the UK, and we made a game called Worlds Adrift, and it was a big MMO set in these fantastical islands in the sky, and you flew airships between them, and it was a very, very pretty game. But what's interesting about this is all of those islands that were actually made by players of the game using a tool that I made called the Island Creator. And if you are looking at the footage now, you should be able to see that these do look like incredible places that would be awesome to fly. So after I got into FPV, I started working on a little quadcopter mode for this Island Creator. I was only really going to use it for myself, but it became kind of fun and I decided to share it with everyone. But first, I'd like to show you this edit that I did of footage that I took from the game.
This world is not meant for you. Run, boy, run. They're trying to catch you. Run, boy, run. Running is a victory. Run, boy, run. Beauty lies behind the hills. Run, boy, run. The sun will be guiding you. Run, boy, run. They're dying to stop you. Run, boy, run. This race is a prophecy. Run, boy, run. Break out from society. Oh, is another day, hey, and you don't have to hide away, yeah. You'll be a man, boy, but for now it's time to run, it's time to run. This ride is a journey to run, boy, run. The secret inside of you, run, boy, run. This race is a prophecy, run, boy, run, and disappear in the trees. Tomorrow is another day, hey, and you don't have to hide away, yeah. You'll be a man, boy, but for now it's time to run, it's time to run. Tomorrow is another day, hey, when the night fades away, yeah. You'll be a man, boy, but for now it's time to run, it's time to run.
So you're probably thinking, how much is it? How do I get it? Well, it's available on Steam and it is free. And there are thousands of islands that have been made by community members already that you can go and fly around. They were originally designed for this big MMO, like I said, but they are actually magical playgrounds that you can fly around in FPV, and it is great. So you click the download button and it's downloading, but while you wait, I'll just show you a quick tutorial of how to get into the game, how to get the quad mode on, and how to build your own little FPV playground. Because one of the great things about this is it is a really nice editor to use so that you can create your own little FPV paradise. So, first time you launch the software, you'll see this welcome screen with play and create. If you don't want to bother with creating your own island, then you can just press play and choose one of the ones that I've selected here. There's a whole bunch of good ones, a whole bunch of good maps here that you can use to fly around. Or you can explore the top rated, the Hall of Fame are the ones that were in the original Worlds of Drift MMO. So there's a whole bunch to choose from. There's over 12,000 islands on the workshop, so you're not going to run out of places to fly anytime soon. I'm just going to pick one at random, and then once it's loaded, you'll see 3 icons at the top. So what you need to do is plug in your radio or your controller. I should have done that first really, but you can do that at any time. And then you'll see a little propeller icon will appear at the top right. That's how you spawn a quadcopter. So click on that once and then choose a start position. So let's just go here on this path. And now you've spawned a drone. The first thing you have to do is you'll need to do your radio setup. So just press F1 and then you can set up your axis for like throttle so just assign them here the same way you would in a normal thing. Make sure you turn gamepad mode off if you're using a radio, because that means that with gamepad mode on, the center of the stick is 0 throttle, and that obviously is not what you want when you're using a full-sized radio. You can set your rates, and the physics is there to mess with once you've tried it out, and if it feels too heavy or not fast enough or whatever, you can change things here. So it's all customizable, and you can just fly around like you would any normal simulator. That's how you get into the flying part nice and easily. If you want to create something from scratch for yourself, like a little FPV playground, then just click the new button or the create button from the start, and then you can get into making an island for yourself. I'm just going to do this as quick as possible. So we just hit generate with the default generator that was there. It will create like a mound of dirt for you to play with. Yeah, see, that's pretty nice. I just made that. So this could probably use some trees. I think I'm going to flatten out an area though to play with first. So I'm going to use this flatten tool. Flatten tool just means that wherever you paint will now go to that height. Just turn everything up. So you can create little flat areas to play with. That's pretty nice. I'll just paint this stuff grass, because I want this to be all grass here. Nice, very nice. All right, let's get some trees in here. Select some trees. You can multiple select objects, and then each time you place, it'll choose like another one from that list. So you can get some variation very quickly. Or, one of my favorite things to do is use the mass place, which is the 3rd button along, and select a whole bunch of trees. Let's choose all the green ones so they all kind of match. We don't want surface align, give it some indent. Let's get 118 trees, and there we go. So it's coming on. This is looking like a place I'd like to fly. Let's put the time of day back to daytime. There we go. This already looks kind of fun. You can test it at any time, just hit this little propeller icon and then off you go. Okay. It's kind of as easy as that. There is a lot more power to this tool. There's a lot of things you can do. You've got water, you can do very complicated sculpting of the terrain and painting. There are thousands of objects. In fact, my missus is responsible for about 90% of these objects, so thank her for all of the lovely assets that have been made here. Just a couple more things to point out. If you are having any trouble, if the game is running slowly, then there is an options menu down here. You can go and change the graphics options. The most performance intensive part is the clouds. If you turn off the clouds, then the sky will just be plain blue. That might be fine for you. If so, then you can play like that and you will save a lot of frame rate. You still get some nice sun rays and you still get a nice sunset. But yeah, the performance will increase quite a bit just from doing that. And you can also turn off some other kind of taxing options like motion blur and ambient occlusion. If you're particularly proud of your island, then there is this button in the top right corner, which looks like an upload button. That's because it is. You can, at any time, just save and upload that thing to the Steam Workshop, and then everyone else can play it. You can take a nice preview image, just pick a decent angle, make it look really cool and inviting. There we go. Give it a name, test, a description, hello. And then hit upload, and that's it. Simple as that. It's now on the Steam Workshop and everyone else can see it. You can post links to people, tell them to download it, and it will appear in their subscriptions. Right, that is it. That is my FPV simulator, my gift to you in this difficult lockdown time. So go have fun with it, make some crazy playgrounds if you like, enjoy playing the thousands of islands that are available already. Most importantly, have fun, stay safe, stay indoors, all that good stuff. I'm afraid there isn't any giveaways at the moment. The lockdown has kind of stopped me being able to get to Milton Keynes, which is where the giveaways are sent from. So temporary hiatus. They will be back, I promise. I said I would do a year of giveaways, and this has kind of put me out, so I'm probably going to run over, which is fine. All fine. Don't mind giving away stuff to you lovely people. One tradition we're not going to shy away from, though, is the reading of the comments of the last video. The last video was the DJI HD FPV system review. So let's see if there's any questions. Proto31 says, planning on getting some as soon as I can afford it. Doing research now. Think you'll do the analog mod? I don't know. There is a couple of analog mods you can get. There's one which is basically just you can stick a module on the side of your head and it routes the power through it. That looks pretty nifty and it's only about £10. There's also ones where you can actually do some soldering on the inside and make like a more permanent fixture, and yeah, with a custom faceplate and everything like that. There's actually some really nice ones that I've seen. I've seen a dude that's got some on eBay for sale, and they're like these really amazing nylon printed, really beautiful looking faceplates made with like £250,000 printers. Super nice. If you're in the market for something like that, I'll leave a link in the description below for the if they're still available anyway. But yeah, I'm probably not going to bother with it, to be honest. I've still got my HDOs and I'm still quite happy to use those for analog stuff. I know it's a bit of a pain having to carry 2 sets of goggles around, but I am quite happy to do that. MyRaver88 says, I'd love to get the DJI FPV system, but I just can't justify the price when I've not long had my fat sharks. I can understand that, buddy. But will you be flying DJI all the time? I mean, for the most part, I think for the 5-inch freestyle stuff, it definitely makes a lot of sense. But I still have the analog stuff, and for things like whoops and micros like toothpicks and things like that, they're getting kind of interesting at the moment, especially with not being able to go outside. Toothpicks are getting more and more compelling, so I'm definitely looking into getting at least one of those. But obviously with those kind of crafts, weight is the most important aspect. So when that is the case, analog is always going to be lighter, even if it's only like 10-20 grams difference between digital and analog. That's still quite a lot when the whole thing weighs 60 grams or 80 grams. That's a big percentage of it. So when weight is important, then analog is always going to win out. So I'll keep the HDOs for the time being. Ulfi FPV says, nice review. Would also be interested how you mount your air unit antennas. So I mount them just using the standard mounts that come with the HD version of the Badger frame. It has these 2 little holes which have rubber grommets on the top plate, and they just go straight down to the air unit. Pretty simple. I don't really do anything fancy. I haven't got any special 3D printed mounts or anything. Nice thing about the Badger is the little standoffs at the back actually kind of stop the MMCXs popping out, because I know that's a bit of a problem on those air units. Right, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I do hope you have fun with the simulator if you try it out. Obviously the videos are not going to be as regular as before. I was used to have a weekly schedule, but now it is whenever I think of something to make a video about, because we're all stuck indoors. Anyway, have fun, stay safe everybody, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.